Today, you become American, or you get sent back. Everything depends on the next few hours. The date is January 1st, 1892. You're standing on the deck of a steamship in New York Harbor, staring at a building that just opened this morning. Ellis Island, the new federal immigration station, the gateway to America. You've been traveling for 3 weeks, left Ireland with everything you own in a single trunk, crossed the Atlantic in steerage, the cheapest passage, crammed below decks with 700 other immigrants. The smell of unwashed bodies, vomit, and desperation. But now you see it. The Statue of Liberty, just 6 years old, already becoming the symbol of hope. She holds a torch above New York Harbor. Behind her, Manhattan rises, buildings taller than anything in Europe, the promised land, except you're not there yet. First, Ellis Island. This is the first day Ellis Island operates. Before today, immigrants were processed at Castle Garden in Manhattan, but that facility was overwhelmed. Too many people, too much chaos, disease spreading, corruption rampant. So the federal government built this new station, state-of-the-art, scientific, efficient. 3 stories of red brick and limestone. It can process 5,000 immigrants per day. Today, it will process 700, you among them. What you don't know, over the next 62 years, 12 million immigrants will pass through Ellis Island. 40% of Americans alive today will have an ancestor who entered through this building. This is where Italian Americans, Irish Americans, Jewish Americans, Polish Americans, the hyphenated identity is born. But 2% will be rejected, sent back across the Atlantic, dreams destroyed. That's why they call this the Island of Tears. You clutch your papers, medical certificate from the ship's doctor, letter from your uncle in Boston who sponsored your passage. $20, the minimum required to prove you won't become a public charge. The inspectors are looking for disease, mental illness, criminal records, anarchists. People likely to need charity. America wants workers, not dependents. Around you, hundreds of immigrants from a dozen countries. You hear Italian, Yiddish, Polish, Russian, German, Norwegian, everyone with the same hope, the same fear. A ferry approaches. It will take you from the steamship to Ellis Island. Your heart pounds. You've crossed an ocean. Now you must cross this final barrier, pass the inspections, answer the questions correctly. Prove you're worthy of America. In a few hours you'll know, American Dream or Island of Tears?
The ferry docks. You file off with the other steerage passengers. First and second class passengers were inspected on the ship and allowed straight into Manhattan. Only steerage passengers, the poor, must come to Ellis Island. Already, America is showing you the class divide. You enter the main building, climb stairs to the second floor. This is deliberate. Inspectors watch how you climb. Limping, breathing heavily, mark you for further medical examination. The Great Hall opens before you. Enormous, high-arched ceiling, iron railings dividing the space into inspection lanes. Hundreds of people waiting. The noise is overwhelming. Crying children, officials shouting, interpreters translating. Anxiety hangs in the air like fog. You're given a numbered tag, 23. Your identity reduced to a number until you pass inspection. The lines move slowly. You wait and wait. Hours pass, standing, clutching your trunk, watching others get processed ahead of you. You see an Italian family reunited with relatives, joy, tears, embracing. Success, they made it. You see a young woman marked with chalk, E for eyes. She's pulled from the line for further examination. Trachoma, probably. A contagious eye disease. If confirmed, she'll be deported. Her face crumbles. Years of saving for passage, months of travel, ended by a chalk mark. That's the terror of Ellis Island, so close to America. But not there yet. An inspector approaches. He speaks English. You speak some English, enough you hope, but many immigrants don't. Interpreters help, but communication is chaotic. The inspector asks questions, rapid fire, testing you. Name? Patrick Brennan. Age? 22. Occupation? Laborer. Can you read and write? Yes, sir. You can. That helps. Literacy laws will come later. But even now, illiteracy raises suspicion. Do you have a job waiting? My uncle has work for me in Boston, sir. Who paid your passage? I did, sir. Saved for 3 years. Show me your money. You show the $20. He counts it. Nods. Are you an anarchist? No, sir. You say it firmly. Anarchists are banned. The Haymarket affair in Chicago 6 years ago made Americans terrified of radical immigrants. Are you a polygamist? No, sir. Mormons are banned too. Do you have a criminal record? No, sir. The questions continue. Your answers must be consistent with what you told officials on the ship. Any discrepancy triggers suspicion, detention, further questioning. You pass the questioning. The inspector nods. Next station, medical examination.
The medical inspection is next. This is what most immigrants fear. Disease means deportation. No appeals. No second chances. Back to Europe. The doctors are U.S. Public Health Service officers. They wear uniforms, move quickly. They have 6 seconds per person to detect diseases. 6 seconds to decide your fate. You walk past the first doctor. He watches you move, looking for lameness, unusual gait, signs of physical disability. America wants strong workers, not invalids. The second doctor examines your hands, checking for skin diseases, fungal infections, anything contagious. The third doctor, the one everyone dreads, does the eye exam. Trachoma is the leading cause of deportation, a bacterial eye infection that causes blindness, highly contagious, common in poor European communities. The doctor uses a button hook, a tool for buttoning high-collar shoes. He flips your eyelid inside out with it. No anesthesia. It's painful, humiliating, but necessary to see the inside of the eyelid where trachoma hides. You wince. He examines, moves on. No chalk mark. You passed. Others aren't lucky. A Polish woman ahead of you gets marked with E. She's separated from her family, sent to the detention area for further examination. Her children scream. Her husband pleads. The guards are unmoved. Rules are rules. If she's confirmed to have trachoma, she'll be deported. The family faces a choice: go back together, or let her return alone while they stay in America. Many families are torn apart by this decision. You watch the family being separated. This is the human cost of immigration. The American dream has a price. If you want to witness another moment when families were separated at American borders, but this time by choice, fleeing the Dust Bowl in the 1930s, subscribe. Because immigration and migration define American history again and again. For now, you've passed the medical exam, but you're not done. Final questioning comes next. You approach the final inspection desk. A seated inspector with your ship's manifest. This document lists every passenger. Your answers must match what's written. Any discrepancy could mean detention. The inspector begins. 29 questions. The official list that determines if you enter America. What is your name? He's checking pronunciation. Many inspectors will Americanize immigrant names. Can't spell or pronounce them. Patrick Brennan might become Patrick Brown. Giuseppe becomes Joseph. Difficult surnames get simplified. You'll lose part of your identity to enter America. But it's a trade you're willing to make. Married or single? Single. That's actually advantageous. Single young men are workers. Families mean dependents. What is your occupation? Laborer. Good. America needs laborers. Factories are expanding. Cities are growing. Unskilled labor is in demand. Can you read and write? What language? English and Irish. You demonstrate by reading a passage. Literacy is increasingly important. Congress is debating literacy tests for all immigrants. Have you ever been in prison, almshouse, or institution for the insane? No. Criminal records and mental illness are grounds for deportation. Are you a polygamist? No. Again, they really care about this. Mormon polygamy scandals make officials paranoid. Are you an anarchist, or do you believe in overthrowing the government by force? No. Absolutely not. Anarchists are banned by law. What is your destination? Boston, to join my uncle. Who paid your passage? I did. Self-funded passage suggests ambition and independence. Charity cases raise flags. How much money do you have? $20. You show it again. The inspector notes it. Do you have a job waiting? Yes, my uncle has work for me. Have you ever been to the United States before? No. First time. That's normal for 1892. Later, multiple entries will raise suspicion. The inspector checks your answers against the manifest. Everything matches. He stamps your landing card, writes your number, signs it. You're approved. Relief floods through you. You made it. Passed medical, passed legal. You're allowed to enter the United States of America. But the inspector isn't done. One more thing. Your name, Brennan. That's Irish, yes? You nod. Do you intend to become a citizen? The question surprises you. You haven't thought that far. Yes, sir, you say, because that's the expected answer. Because you want to belong. Because you didn't cross an ocean to remain a foreigner. The inspector nods. Welcome to America. Those words, simple, bureaucratic, but they change your life. You're no longer Patrick Brennan from County Cork, Ireland. You're Patrick Brennan, American immigrant. Soon, just American. You gather your trunk, walk toward the exit. Manhattan awaits.
Before leaving Ellis Island, you must exchange your money, Irish pounds to American dollars. The official exchange offers fair rates. One of Ellis Island's improvements over Castle Garden, where immigrants were routinely cheated. The exchange clerk counts your Irish pounds, hands you American dollars. The currency feels strange, different size, different texture. Another reminder, you're in a foreign land now. You need to buy a train ticket. Boston is your destination. The railroad ticket office at Ellis Island prevents immigrants from being overcharged at Manhattan train stations. Another protection built into the system. While waiting, you see the diversity of Ellis Island's first day. An Italian family of 8, parents, 6 children, all their possessions in cloth bundles. A young Jewish woman traveling alone, fleeing pogroms in Russia. A Norwegian couple, both tall and blonde, holding hands nervously. A German craftsman with his tools. Skilled trades are valued. You hear fragments of a dozen languages. See traditional clothing from across Europe. Smell unfamiliar foods being eaten from small packages. This is America's future, a mixing pot. E pluribus unum, out of many, one. Your ticket costs $3. Boston via New York Central Railroad. You'll leave tonight, can't afford hotel. The waiting room will be your bed. An agent approaches, he's Irish. Spots you immediately. Accent, clothing, something. First time in America, he asks. You nod. I came through Castle Garden in '85, he says. 7 years ago. Now I work for the railroad. You'll do fine. Irish stick together here. Boston has a big community. North End mostly. Find the parish church. Father O'Malley will help you find work and lodging. The information is valuable. Ethnic enclaves, Irish, Italian, Jewish, German neighborhoods are how immigrants survive. Find your people. They help you navigate this strange new world. One piece of advice, the agent continues. Lose the accent as fast as you can. Americans don't trust immigrants, especially Irish. We're stereotyped as drunks and criminals. The faster you sound American, the easier life gets. It's pragmatic advice. Painful but true. Assimilation is survival. You thank him. Clutch your ticket, your new American dollars. You're ready. The ferry to Manhattan leaves in an hour. You have time to think. Process what just happened. This morning, you were Patrick Brennan, Irish immigrant. Tonight, you'll be Patrick Brennan, American resident. In 5 years, if you choose, you can naturalize, become a citizen, vote, full belonging. But that's future. Right now, you're exhausted, overwhelmed, hopeful, terrified. The American dream starts here, on this island, in this building, with this paperwork and these stamped documents that say, you belong. Or at least you're allowed to try to belong.
The ferry pulls away from Ellis Island. You stand on deck. Watch the island shrink. Behind you, more steamships arrive. More immigrants. The process continues. Tomorrow, another 700 people. And the day after, and after. Endless waves of humanity seeking better lives. Ahead, Manhattan grows. The skyline is impressive even in 1892. The tallest buildings in the world are here. The New York World Building, 309 feet. The skyscrapers are just beginning. In coming decades, they'll grow even taller. The Statue of Liberty passes on your right. Liberty enlightening the world, her official name. You read the plaque earlier, Emma Lazarus's poem, added just 5 years ago. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free, the wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send these, the homeless, tempest-tossed to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door. You are the tired, the poor, the huddled masses. This poem is about you, written for you, welcoming you. Except America is ambivalent about immigration. The poem says, give me your tired, your poor. But the inspectors demand you have money, skills, health, literacy. The contradiction will define American immigration policy forever. You dock in Manhattan, Battery Park, the southernmost tip of the island. Chaos, noise, horse carriages, street vendors, buildings everywhere, smoke from factories, the smell of the city, horse manure, coal smoke, food cooking, humanity packed together. Your first thought, this is nothing like Ireland. Your second thought, I'll never survive here. Your third thought, I have to. There's no going back. A conductor calls, train to Boston, boarding in 30 minutes. You follow other Irish immigrants to the station, safety in numbers, familiar accents in an unfamiliar place. You pass tenement buildings, 5 stories tall, windows everywhere, laundry hanging, children playing in streets, poverty visible. This is where many immigrants live, crowded, unsanitary, but better than what they left. You see an Irish pub, green shamrock painted on the sign, Galway House. It could be anywhere in Ireland, except it's not. It's New York. Transplanted culture, preserved identity, survival mechanism. At the train station you board, 3rd class, wooden benches, no cushions, you don't care. You're going to Boston, to work, to build a life. The train pulls out, Manhattan fades, you're heading north, into America, into the unknown. You think about what you left behind, your family in County Cork, your mother's tears when you departed, your father's handshake. Make us proud. You think about what's ahead, Boston, your uncle's promise of work, the Irish community, building a new identity. You sleep fitfully. Tomorrow you work, you start over, you become American.
January 1st, 1892, the first day of Ellis Island. You're one of 700 immigrants processed, the beginning of a flood. Over the next 62 years, 12 million people will pass through Ellis Island. Peak years, 1900-1914, see over 1 million arrivals annually. The Great Hall will be expanded. More doctors, more inspectors, more languages. The machinery of immigration processing perfected. But your story, the story of those first arrivals, sets the pattern. The medical inspections, the legal questions, the anxiety, the hope, the transformation from European to American. Many immigrants from that first day succeed. Patrick Brennan, you, will work in Boston factories, save money, bring your brother over in 1895, your cousin in 1898, chain migration, each successful immigrant sponsoring the next. You'll naturalize in 1897, become a citizen, vote for the first time, marry an Irish-American woman whose parents came through Castle Garden, have children born American. They'll speak English natively, lose the Irish accent you worked so hard to keep. Your grandchildren will barely speak Irish. Your great-grandchildren won't know County Cork. They'll be American. The hyphen will fade. Irish-American becomes American. That's Ellis Island's purpose, not just processing immigrants, but transforming them, stripping old identities, building new ones, creating Americans from Europeans. But the transformation has costs, languages lost, traditions forgotten, names changed, cultural amnesia across generations. Today, 40% of Americans have an ancestor who came through Ellis Island. That's 100 million people. The Italians, the Irish, the Jews from Eastern Europe, the Greeks, the Poles, the Germans, the Norwegians, the Hungarians. Ellis Island closed in 1954, replaced by modern immigration systems. The buildings fell into disrepair, abandoned for decades. Then, in 1990, Ellis Island reopened as a museum. Now, over 3 million people visit annually. Americans seeking their roots, tracing family histories, looking at the same Great Hall their ancestors passed through. You can search ship manifests, find your ancestor's name, see the same questions they were asked, walk the same path they walked. The Museum of Immigration tells the story Ellis Island represents. America is a nation of immigrants, built by people who came from somewhere else, seeking opportunity, fleeing oppression, hoping for better. The Statue of Liberty still stands in the harbor. The poem still promises, "Give me your tired, your poor." But modern immigration is complicated. Quotas, restrictions, walls. The debate continues. Who deserves to enter? Who belongs? Ellis Island's first day, January 1st, 1892, represents American idealism, the golden door, the promise of transformation, possibility. You were there. Patrick Brennan, Irish immigrant, number 23. You passed the inspections, crossed to Manhattan, took the train to Boston, built a life. Your descendants, American-born, English-speaking, Irish only in surname, will visit Ellis Island a century later. Stand where you stood, feel what you felt, connect to history. The American dream started for millions on that island. The fear, the hope, the paperwork, the stamps, the transformation. From immigrant to American, from outsider to insider, from them to us. That's Ellis Island's legacy. And it began on January 1st, 1892, the first day when you arrived. In our next journey, we'll witness another immigrant arrival, but this time not through Ellis Island. Angel Island, 1910, where Asian immigrants faced a very different American welcome.